Hey, this is Jo Kupke, bringing you a dose of inspiritment. I know you want to lead yourself well in whatever space you find yourself today. These super short episodes are designed to bring you that inspiration, encouragement, and challenge to think a bit deeper. Maybe you will find your next step to leading yourself well today. In the last episode, I touched on the gift of limits and looking at how I am using that concept and that mindset, that perspective to help shape my days and making sure that I'm not overcommitting, making sure I'm building in rest and all of these things that are important. It reminded me of an episode I released last year, specifically on this topic. And I went back and listened to it again and found so much encouragement and just helpful reminders that I thought I would release it again. So that's what you're going to be hearing today. But before we get into that, I wanted to share a little bit of things that I shared on socials in the last week. Just over a week ago was the 4-year anniversary of holding my book, Stepping Up in Leadership, in my hands for the first time. I can still remember just how incredible it felt to be holding it in my hands, to see these words in print, to be able to put it in the hands of other people. I just wanted to celebrate that, and I shared that video of me unboxing it for the first time on all my social media in the past week. So you can go and check that out at Jo Kupke on all the social places. But if you are wanting to get your hands on a copy of that, if you have not somehow in the last 4 years not grabbed a copy, it's available on my website or on pretty much all online booksellers. It's also available as an ebook in all the usual places and on audiobook on most places. So grab yourself a copy, get some encouragement in your own self-leadership journey. And for now, let's dive into the gift of limits. Do you know what I've realized? In my quest to grow as a person and lead myself well, I switched into thinking that limitations were simply a problem that I needed to solve with the right strategy or amount of effort. Now, this wasn't a conscious thought, and my words said the opposite. But deep down, I was trying to eliminate all signs of being fragile. What if those limitations are actually a key to growth and self-leadership? Kate Bowler in No Cure for Being Human has this quote: "In my finite life, the mundane has begun to sparkle. The things I love, the things I should love, become clearer, brighter." This is the gift of our limited and fragile human existence, if we embrace it. When we stop trying to do it all and ignoring those limits, we find what is truly important. Instead of splitting our efforts in so many directions, we can target that energy into a few. Days when I have completely open space in my calendar often get filled up with meaningless, busy work. Short time blocks between other commitments often see me focused on the most important task and getting it done. I home in on the priority within the limits. What would your life look like if you had the mental and calendar capacity to invest into your family? What would your community look like if you had the space to listen deeply and make connections? Maybe what we most need to recognize is that we have limited energy, time, and focus. People sometimes refer to this as spoons, and you may have heard that term before. When you know you only have a few spoons today, you choose to use them where they make the most impact. Refusing to acknowledge how few spoons you have mean you end up wasting them and have little left over for what you actually value. There are times when I have stayed up late after a meeting to finish up a couple of tasks and maybe watch an episode of the latest TV show to grab my attention. And in those moments, I am unconsciously pushing back on the limitation of my human body and the 24-hour day we all live in. Instead of breaking free from a limitation, it just increases the impact the next day. My brain is foggy. The tasks on my to-do list seem harder. But if I had embraced that need to rest, I would have been able to focus more effectively. I also would have been the person I want to be for those that I love. I always have so many roles and pursuits on the go. If I try to do all of them, I end up doing nothing well. Part of leading myself well is deciding what will get my attention and what I will put on the back burner for now. Recognizing the gift of limits allows me to let go of good things, to create space for the best things. And this is a work in progress. What limits do you have in your life? What gift can these limits bring you? Let's encourage each other to be human, even if this goes against our culture. Maybe we can be part of changing that culture to embrace limits, to release toxic expectations, and to thrive within the time and energy we have. Thank you for listening and taking the time to invest in your personal growth. You can stay in touch with me on social media. Look for Jo Koepke, JOKOEPKE on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Or head over to my website, jokoepke.com, to see some other things I have on offer, use the Contact Me form, or get connected in with my email community. Have a great week. Keep taking those steps forward, and I will see you again soon.